Hello everyone. The War of Reality, Heraclitus versus Parmenides, philosophy's first great debate. Imagine walking along a river in ancient Greece, around 500 BCE. The sun is setting, casting long shadows across the water, and you're contemplating one of the most profound questions ever asked. What is the true nature of reality? Two revolutionary thinkers of this era would give you completely opposite answers, launching a debate that would shape Western thought for millennia to come. On one side of this intellectual battlefield stands Heraclitus of Ephesus, often called the weeping philosopher. Standing by our imaginary river, he would tell you that this flowing water perfectly represents all of reality. Look carefully, he might say, you can never step into the same river twice. The water you touch in this moment will never be the same water. Again, it's constantly flowing, changing, becoming something new. And it's not just the river, it's everything. Your body, your thoughts, the ground beneath your feet, even the seemingly solid mountains in the distance, all are in constant flux. Heraclitus wasn't just making poetic observations. He was proposing a radical idea. Change isn't just a feature of reality, it is reality. Everything flows, nothing stands still. The world isn't made of stable things that sometimes change, it's made of change itself. Even when something appears stable, like a rock or a mountain, it's actually in constant transformation, just at a pace too slow for our eyes to perceive. But across the Greek world, in the city of Ilion, another philosopher named Parmenides was about to shake the foundations of this worldview. Parmenides would have scoffed at our riverside philosophical moment. To him, the flowing river, like all change, was nothing but an illusion, a trick played on our unreliable senses. Parmenides' argument was deceptively simple, but philosophically explosive. He reasoned that for something to change, it must become something else. But where does this something else come from? It can only come from what already exists or from what doesn't exist. It can't come from what already exists because that's just what is now, and it certainly can't come from what doesn't exist because nothing can come from nothing. Therefore, change must be impossible. This wasn't just clever wordplay. Parmenides was pointing to a deep logical problem that philosophers still grapple with today. He concluded that reality must be one unified, unchanging, eternal being. Everything we see as change, motion, and difference is mere illusion, a fundamental misunderstanding of reality's true nature. This clash of ideas wasn't just some abstract academic debate. It struck at the heart of how we understand ourselves and our world. Are we essentially the same person throughout our lives, or are we constantly becoming someone new? Is the world fundamentally stable or constantly in flux? Can we find any permanent truth in a changing universe? The impact of this debate rippled through history like waves in our metaphorical river. Plato, perhaps the most influential philosopher in Western history, spent much of his career trying to reconcile these opposing views. His famous theory of forms the idea that there exists a realm of perfect, unchanging ideas beyond our physical world was essentially an attempt to give both Heraclitus and Parmenides their due. Yes, our physical world is constantly changing, Plato admitted, but there must also be something permanent and unchanging that gives it order and meaning. Remarkably, this ancient Greek debate finds striking parallels in modern physics. Quantum mechanics reveals a world of probability and constant flux that would have delighted Heraclitus. Yet Einstein's relativity suggests that time itself might be an illusion, viewing reality as a single four-dimensional block where past, present, and future exist simultaneously, a perspective Parmenides might have appreciated. Even in our daily lives, we can see both philosophers' insights at work. We experience constant change, we age, learn, grow, and transform. Yet we also seek permanence in love, in truth, in identity. We build institutions to last, create art to capture eternal moments, and search for unchanging principles to guide our lives. Perhaps the deepest wisdom lies in understanding that both perspectives capture something essential about reality. Change is indeed fundamental to our experience. We can't deny the reality of transformation, growth, and decay. Yet there also seem to be things that transcend change: mathematical truths, logical principles, fundamental laws of nature, and perhaps even moral values. The debate between Heraclitus and Parmenides teaches us something profound about the human quest for understanding. Sometimes the most important insights come not from choosing between opposing views, but from learning to hold them both in mind simultaneously. Maybe we are indeed always stepping into a new river, while also standing on the solid ground of unchanging truth. This tension between permanence and change, between being and becoming, continues to shape our understanding of reality. When we face personal transformation, navigate relationships, or contemplate our place in the universe, we're engaging with the same fundamental questions these ancient Greeks wrestled with. Their debate reminds us that the deepest philosophical questions aren't just academic exercises, they're intimately connected to how we live and understand our lives. As you stand by your own metaphorical river, contemplating change and permanence in your life, remember that you're participating in a conversation that has echoed through millennia. Whether you side with Heraclitus's flowing river or Parmenides' unchanging reality, you're engaging with one of philosophy's most fundamental questions: what is the true nature of reality? And perhaps like so many thinkers before us, you'll find that the answer involves both the river and the rock, both change and permanence, both being and becoming. The next time you're facing change in your life, or seeking something permanent to hold on to, remember these two ancient Greeks. Their insights can help us navigate the perpetual dance between transformation and stability that characterizes human existence. In the end, maybe that's the real wisdom, learning to flow with change while anchoring ourselves in what endures. Thanks for watching.